Come on. We will win. Because we will hit all game. We are motivated. We are dedicated. Come on now. Come on now. We will win. Because we are the best on the field. Then we hit the field like, all day like, all night like, on the blue light, offense like, defense like, his squad like, house call like, and it sound like, and it sound like, and it sound like.
What is going on, everyone? This is the Short Sports Show. I am your host, Daniel Short. Today is Friday, May 19th, 2017, and we got a lot to talk about. College football news and the NFL. We're going to be talking about should schools be offering middle schoolers a scholarship at 13 years old? Young, I should say. That's a little too early. More trouble is happening at Baylor. We'll talk about that. Colin Kaepernick, it looks like he's going to be a perfect fit in Seattle. Vick will play in a professional flag football league. Yeah, things are happening. People. Also, the Inglewood Stadium is placed on hold until 2020, so the Rams and the Chargers will have to play at the StubHub Center and Memorial Coliseum, respectively, for another year. We got a lot to talk about, guys. I'm excited for the show. I hope you guys have been checking out my YouTube channel, of course. Subscribe over there. It's the Short Sports Show on YouTube. We've done amazing job in the past couple of weeks getting new subscribers and more people to watch over there. So it's been awesome. We've already grown over 100 subscribers over there in just less than a month on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the support, and be sure to always subscribe to Spreaker as well. We got over 2,000 followers over there. You guys make me happy every Friday. I love doing this. What else we got to talk about? Well, let's go ahead and talk about InnerGrind. Today's show is sponsored by InnerGrind. Based out of Houston, Texas, let former Texas State linebacker Michael Rakpo help you reach your fitness and nutrition goals. With personal training classes that start at $40 a session, why not be a part of this rising program? Now, whether your goals are to lose weight, gain muscle mass, find the right off-season program, or even for you ladies out there to get that booty blast, you can do it all with InnerGrind. Not a Houston area, not a problem. InnerGrind has a program that is personalized just for you. InnerGrind has everything you need to meet your personal and healthy goals. NFL linebackers like Titans Brian Orakpo, Chiefs Derek Johnson, Buccaneers running back Charles Sims, and San Diego Chargers cornerback Craig Mager, along with many other young athletes, have already begun. Find your personalized workout and nutrition plan at InnerGrind.com and call 832-475-2829. That's InnerGrind.com, 832-475-2829. Unleash your InnerGrind. San Diego State University said Tuesday that it has cut off talks to share a stadium with a group that wants to attract an MLS team as the centerpiece of $1 billion development at the site of aging Qualcomm Stadium in Missouri Valley. So check this out. In a statement, the school said that the city should pursue a, quote, transparent, end quote, process to develop a plan for a 166-acre site. And apparently that might not happen. FS Investors unveiled plans for its Soccer City development less than 2 weeks after the NFL's Chargers announced that they were relocating to Los Angeles area because voters overwhelmingly rejected their plan to build a new downtown stadium. Now, Nick Stone of FS Investors said in a statement that San Diego State University's stance is, quote, another sad chapter in the saga of departing university leadership, moving the goalpost. Unbelievably, they continue to walk away from the people trying to help them. It's clear this decision will jeopardize Aztec football, end quote. Now, the statement questioned the leadership of San Diego State University President Elliot Hirschman, who was leaving in June 30th for another job. And apparently there's been sources saying that he just doesn't care about this. He doesn't want to do anything. He's focused on getting out. And therefore it is affecting their plans moving forward. Now, the dispute comes as San Diego State University hopes to fill the void left by the Chargers' departure. The Aztecs are coming off in a consecutive 11-3 seasons and a number 25 ranking in the final Associated Press poll for the first time in over 30 years. Coach Rocky Long has led the team to bowl games in each of his 6 seasons. They've played in 7 straight overall. This guy is building this program as much as he can. Of course, in case you guys haven't been paying attention to San Diego State, of course, Donnell Pumphrey, the all-time leading rusher in collegiate football, he played there, was just drafted to the Eagles. This program has been on the rise in the Mountain West Conference, and it's sad that they can't get anything going because the city doesn't want Qualcomm Stadium anymore. They want to destroy it. They want it out. They want it basically erased. That leaves no home for San Diego State. They don't have an on-campus stadium. And it looked like, we talked about this after it was announced that if they could get that MLS stadium, it was going to be state-of-the-art. It was going to be big enough to hold the Mountain West Conference games, including a potential Mountain West Conference championship game. Of course, all the things for San Diego State. And it looked like a promising thing was going to happen. Now, because of politics, it looks like this might not happen. There will be a solution at some point. Hopefully, people can just get over their ego and get a stadium built for San Diego State. And hopefully, this thing happens with FS investors. Vanderbilt head coach Derek Mason got his leash just grew tremendously. He was on the hot seat for a little bit, but after an okayish season with some okayish wins, he received a 3-year contract extension and a raise after leading the Commodores to their first bowl appearance of his 3-year tenure last season. Now, they went 6-7 last season, but they did win they did have victories over Georgia and Tennessee. Now, both not really the biggest programs. Of course, Georgia, first year under Kirby Smart, seeing how that was going to go. Tennessee is Tennessee. They're hyped up and then they blow it. Now, this is nothing against Vanderbilt or Derek Mason. I like him. He was on the hot seat. I wanted them to keep it because he is building a program there, and it's very hard for Vanderbilt to recruit players because Vanderbilt is like Kansas of the SEC, except they're an academic powerhouse, which also hurts recruiting because you can only let in a certain amount of players. It's kind of just like a Stanford type of thing. But hopefully this will work out. In his time there in 3 years at Vanderbilt, he's 13-24, but it took a major step forward last season. They did get dominated in their bowl game against North Carolina State, though, a 41-17 loss in the Independence Bowl. But hopefully some things to build on. I like Vanderbilt. I like Derek Mason, and this is a good thing for both him and the program. Unfortunately, it seems like every week we are talking about something happening at Baylor University. And, as some of these things happen, it's kind of like a snowball effect. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the victims, nor do I care about Baylor, really. But it is some of those things, as in media, we have to be careful of what we report because some of these allegations can be where someone looks at it and says, well, hey, this group is getting money. I want to join in because I can get some money and I can come up with something. I'm not saying this is fake at no way at all. I'm just saying we have to be careful what we look at because some things like this can lead into a snowball effect. Now, if this is all true, which I'm on the side of it's most likely true just because everything that has been alleged at Baylor has happened. So I'm on the side of this is probably happening. A former Baylor volleyball player who says she was gang raped by several football players in 2012 filed a federal Title IX lawsuit against the university on Tuesday, in which she and her attorneys contradicted several statements Baylor administration had previously issued about her alleged assault. Now, the woman's lawsuit asserts that members of the Baylor football team had, quote, already developed a system of hazing their freshman recruits by having them bring or invite freshman females to house parties hosted by members of the football team. At these parties, the girls would be drugged and gang raped, or in other words of the football players, trains would be run on the girls, end quote. Now, the lawsuit alleges that the gang rapes were a bonding experience for the players and that photographs and videotapes of the semi-conscious girls were taken during the assaults and, quote, circulated amongst the football players, end quote. The lawsuit says a 21-second videotape of two female Baylor students being gang raped by several football players circulated among the team. It's absolutely disgusting. Quote, simply put, Baylor football under Briles had run wild in more ways than one, and Baylor was doing nothing to stop it, end quote, the lawsuit says. The woman's complaint is the 7th federal Title IX lawsuit involving 15 women filed against Baylor. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. It's just shocking that nothing truly has really happened to Baylor program, their athletic program. The woman identified as Jane Doe and a former Baylor volleyball player in the lawsuit said that neither she nor her parents, quote, ever indicated that they did not want to report the assault to judicial affairs or to the police, end quote, which contradicts the statement that Baylor released and other sources that indicated the woman refused to pursue the case and simply wanted to leave Baylor. And that basically Baylor officials were saying, all right, if you just keep quiet, we'll pay off your loans, whatever, and you can just be free to transfer and just don't ever speak about this again. And don't talk to the police. And apparently they did want to. So, you know, of course, this thing it's going to continue to be ongoing for I don't know how long. Obviously, we want this all to be solved and move forward. But, you know, my problem is, and I'm not being biased whatsoever, it's just, why does and I know this is not an NCAA case, but it worries me, and I just don't understand the point of the NCAA. Now, the NCAA, their compliance office will make sure that if a student athlete, no matter what his background is, no matter if he's come from poverty, or he or she, I should say, receives, quote, improper benefits, i.e. food, clothes, just one warm meal. Therefore, they are then, if that happens, then, oh, hey, their eligibility, gone. School, sanctioned. We've got to make sure we set set something. Set an example to make sure that no student athlete, because they are amateurs, cannot get paid or have food on their table unless it's, through their little food card that barely gives them anything. Let's make sure we go and solve those cases. Let's make sure we punish those schools and those athletes that do that. But things like this is not a compliance issue, apparently. This is something the NCAA shouldn't have to worry about. Oh, there are sexual assaults and sexual harassments happen at every university, so we should just let this one slide. It's an embarrassment by the NCAA, by Baylor Athletic Administration. It's absolutely embarrassing and disgusting that nothing has truly been done. Oh, Art Briles is fired and probably will never coach again. And? Well, Ian McCall, the athletic director, he's gone. We fired him. The president, he's gone. Well, the president is still doing something with teaching somehow at Baylor University. Ian McCall is somehow the athletic director at Liberty University. And that's a Christian university. It's mind-blowing that he was a part of this. He knew all of this was happening and did nothing about it. Yet, I don't know. That's my rant. I always go on a rant with Baylor stuff. It's just, I don't understand. What does it have to take? Do these videos, the 21-second videotape of the two female Baylor students being gang raped, does that need to be released to the public and people to see, which I'm not saying it should, but is that what it has to take for the NCAA to get into this and say, all right, we got to do something. We got to set an example. Because if sexual assaults are happening at every university, then why not make an example at one of the biggest investigations that's happened at a university ever? This is where a death penalty should come in. Shut the program down until and clear sweep on everybody and make sure anybody that was hired and a part of this Baylor Athletic Administration is never hired at any athletic administration program in this country. Moving on to the NFL. According to ESPN, a financer named Jeff Lewis will form a professional flag football league starting in 2018. Now, Lewis told ESPN, quote, "There's certainly a huge pool of, to take guys from. Every single year, NFL teams cut 800 players. We need less than 100 players to field 8 teams," end quote. Now, the plan is for the league to launch 8 league-owned franchises in 2018. And on June 27th of this year, there's going to be a test game featuring Michael Vick and former running back Justin Forsett in San Jose, California. Now, the games are going to be 7-on-7, full 100-yard fields, and a 60-minute clock. Now, here's the fun part about this. Now, the flags themselves, they're patent pending, and they're going to be attached via magnets. So when a flag is, instead of a typical Velcro, for those that know. Now, when this flag is detached, a sensor goes off, and an official will be able to determine the exact spot on the field that the flag was pulled from. So instead of, we got to guess, he kind of moved a couple more yards, it's about right here, No, it's going to be like a complete electronic future flag football game. So this is pretty interesting. I wanted to bring this up because I want to know, is this something you would go and pay to watch your former players like Michael Vick go out there and sling the football a little bit? Me personally, I wouldn't pay more than $25 a ticket. That's on the high side because it's just flag football. It's 7-on-7. I don't know. But I think this is pretty cool. It shows that there is a market for literally anything. Anything, people. So go out there. Let me know, would you watch this and go and pay to watch this or watch Michael Vick, i.e. other players? Just for fun. Would you go and watch it? Let me know. Tweet me at Short Sports Show and become a fan of Facebook, The Short Sports Show, if I can talk. And I'll see you guys then. Now, the Chargers and the Rams will be forced to wait until 2020 to open up their Inglewood Stadium. Now, due to uncommon and heavy rainfall in the Los Angeles area, they're going to have to wait until 2020 to open up that beautiful $2.6 billion stadium. Now, the Chargers, their thing is, they're still in the process of completing construction for the team's new headquarters in Costa Mesa, California. And they're still, this gives them an extra year to grow their brand, even though people in Southern California should still know who the Chargers are. It helps them out a little bit, I guess. Their problem is this. Now, Phillip Rivers, their Hall of Fame quarterback, future Hall of Fame quarterback, he is going to be maybe not on the team when they open up that brand new fancy stadium in Los Angeles or Inglewood. His contract runs out in 2019, and he'll be 38 at the start of the 2020 season. People were talking about earlier during the draft that they might draft a quarterback this year. They didn't do it during the win now process. Thing is, Sam Darnold, the quarterback from Wyoming, maybe if the Chargers have a bad year or they'd be able to trade up, do they look for a franchise quarterback of the future? And having to extend his contract past that just to have him play, is it worth it? Salary cap, all this other type of stuff. This could end up being a backfire for the Chargers moving to Los Angeles and open up that brand new stadium, and might be one of the worst teams in the league if Phillip Rivers is not the quarterback. Now, for the Rams, here's a little bit of problem for them. They were going to host, I guess the Chargers too, but it's the Rams Stadium, so whatever. They were going to host the Super Bowl in 2021. Well, because of NFL rule, a team that is in their inaugural season, whether it be their first, obviously their first ever season of an expansion team or a relocation, they cannot host the following Super Bowl. Well, there is a waiver. The Rams have already moved forward with that to try to make sure that they can still host the Super Bowl in 2021. They do run into this problem. Now, two NFL executives have already told ESPN that the Rams are going to lose at least an estimated $80 million because of this delay. It's including more than $40 million less because of sponsorship and ticket sales. Of course, the Chargers are probably in that area too, around that. Now, the Rams also were planning to roll out new Nike uniforms in 2019 along with their new stadium. That looks like it may be placed on hold because, of course, they want to unveil it as they reveal the new stadium. Now, they have talked to Nike. It's still ongoing that they might actually still release the new uniforms in 2019 and get a little bit of hype for the fans and maybe boost ticket sales because of the, $80 million that they're now losing. Let me know in the comments section what you think about this. Also, tweet me at Short Sports Show. And be sure to check out the Short Sports Show every Friday morning on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. And how about the NBA playoffs? We'll wrap up with this. It's something about the NBA. When the season starts, everybody's excited, right? We all get pumped up. NBA's happening. Basketball's back. Watch some players go at it. And then, the season, of course, 82 games is just too long. And so by mid-season, most of us are kind of just bored with it. Then we get into the playoffs. We're like, all right, who's going to make it? It's probably going to be the Cavs and the Warriors, but maybe there's a dark horse. Maybe the Rockets could come out of the West. Maybe San Antonio is still that traditional team. Who knows? The Jazz might shock people. I doubt anybody was really thinking the Jazz were going to do anything, but just throwing it out there. And then there was also, on the East, it's, who are we kidding? No one ever thought that anybody other than the Cavs were coming out of the East. Here's the problem now. Now, the Cavs, of course, are going to sweep the Celtics. It's just been miserable for the Celtics in this game. So that series is all but over. And sadly, it looks like the Warriors and the Spurs, which has become an annual fun tradition to watch, it's not going to be that fun to watch. Kawhi Leonard out, it's just the Spurs are lost. Tony Parker's out. The Spurs really don't have anybody. They don't have the bench to compete with the Warriors. It's just been a lackluster performance ever since Kawhi Leonard went out. And I really think that it was just a punch in the gut for the Spurs when Kawhi Leonard went out. Obviously, we saw the collapse of the 25-point lead just disappearing. But I think it's still transitioned into the game 2 where we saw it just wasn't there. And the Warriors just have the swagger now that after coming back, they're so hyped up about it. I really think if the Spurs were able to hang on to that game 1, and were able to steal that game away, even if they had won just by 1 point, which they came close to late in that game, as we all saw. I think game 2 might have been a little bit differently. I think the confidence still would have been there a little bit more for the Spurs. And I think for the Warriors, it's like, all right, hey, these guys, they just came in our place, game 1, and just beat us. Maybe it changed the dynamic of the game and everybody's emotions. I think with the comeback for the Warriors, it just said, look, we're still the top dog. These guys are going to just play catch up the whole series. We got them exactly where we want them. Now transitioning to the game, to the series in San Antonio, I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I think the crowd for San Antonio will be there for the first quarter, and I think they're going to die out by the end of the third. San Antonio just doesn't have it, and with Kawhi Leonard most likely out for game 3, probably this whole series, I would be honestly just tempted if they're already down 3-0 in the series. Keep Kawhi out. There's no risk of aggravating that ankle even more. Of course, the offseason is such a long time, but still, it's just not even worth it. And just roll out the younger guys, see what they can do, and go from there. So hopefully, maybe the Celtics and the Spurs can do the unthinkable and pull off a series victory over both the Cavs and the Warriors, and maybe we can have a Spurs-Celtics series, right? Bunch of beat-up old people going against each other. That would be fun. Oh, some breaking news. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they just signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's cool. Anyways, that's it for today's show, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We've got a lot of new listeners, so be sure to give them a warm welcome and joining this family. Of course, check it out on iTunes. Give us a rating over there if you would, please. It would help me out so much. And I will see you guys next Friday morning. As always, God first, God bless. And I will see you guys then. I'm out. Peace.